I think we are in about 6:14, actually just about 6. Hopefully we are in.
It's 2031, and I finally qualified for Mid 55 Plus, an exclusive plan for people my age.
All right, let's try to get this going here. All right, there we go. Looks like we maybe have this working now. Let's see. At first, I wanted to bring up this Amazon page here, but we're gonna. This isn't going to be so much of a setup tutorial. I think I mentioned that before. Just kind of an overview, a really high-level overview of the process, and then I wanted to spend a little time just showing you how you can listen to the software here. You've got I probably should just start from the beginning and just say, what is an SDR? What is software defined radio? Like that's kind of what we're talking about here. And in particular, we're going to talk about some trunking here, and we're going to actually be able to listen to some. But let's just start with the beginning here. Basically, with software defined radio, it's a radio system where you've got, where you have traditional hardware components like mixers, filters, amplifiers, if you're familiar with those components. Those really get replaced or supplemented by software. So instead of using a dedicated circuit or circuits to process radio signals, an SDR will use a computer and software to perform the signal processing. Um, Now, an SDR will typically consist of a radio front end, such as one of these dongles that you'll see if I can actually bring that up and view it. One of these pictures, it should show a dongle. There's kind of one opened up. Here's one right here. Pretty good picture of a dongle. Um, so the dongle will consist of a radio front end, such as an RTL-SDR dongle, and that will capture radio frequencies and then convert them over into a digital signal or digital data, and then you'll have a software application. And the one that I'm going to be showing you is the SDR Trunk software. That's the one that I've had success with. But this software application, in our case, SDR Trunk, it processes the signals and then allows the users to tune in to different frequencies, decode the signals, and even analyze the spectrum data. So the flexibility makes an SDR or makes SDR widely used in applications like amateur radio. I know it's very popular in amateur radio. There's some software-defined radios out there. It's also like aviation monitoring, things like that. Also, two-way radio communications of other kinds. But um, one of the things I really wanted to get into was the idea basically behind trunked radio, because that's what I'm going to mostly focus on tonight. Because a lot, if you're familiar, back in the day, I'm kind of older, so I remember the days of just turning on a scanner and being able to listen to fire and police broadcasts and so on. And it was fairly simple. And now all those old scanners are pretty much useless because a lot of the emergency communications have switched over to trunked radio, which Trunk radio, it's a type of radio system where you've got multiple users that will share a pool of frequencies instead of each group having a dedicated frequency. And I think a lot of that's coming down to the fact that, we've got less and less spectrum available on, radio spectrum available. Some of it's been sold off, with uh, the old television channels, things like that. A lot of it's been eaten up by cell companies, things like that. But um, and we're with the trunked radio, the multiple users will share a pool of frequencies. So, and you'll have the central controller, which will automatically assign an available frequency to a user when they need to communicate. So it improves on the efficiency and reduces congestion. Um, but trunked radio, this type of a system is commonly used by public safety agencies, police, fire, EMS, utilities, transportation, and also a lot of businesses, where they need reliable communications. They need it to be scalable. It allows for better channel utilization, um, and gives you some advanced features like encryption and priority access. Now, there are some emergency frequencies that you'll find if you ever try to set one of these up where you will have encrypted communications, and those you really can't listen to. There's just no way, unless you have the hardware um, dedicated for communicating on those emergency frequencies. Um, Now, if you're working with SDR Trunk, which is what we're going to be working for, we're using SDR receivers to decode and listen to the trunked radio systems in real time. And I actually have to have two of these dongles. You see one here in the picture, but I actually require two of these to be able to make this work, because one of those has to work on what they call the control frequency. The control frequency is what listens and decides what frequency to switch a particular user to. So there's actually two things that we're monitoring here. Our software has to be able to monitor that control frequency to know where to go and what to listen to, because the frequencies are going to keep hopping around. Now, what I'm showing here, and I'm going to put a link in here after I get this, after we finish up here today, but this is actually the exact kit that I bought. Now I have an SDR dongle, a version 3 dongle from a couple years ago, and then I just recently bought this kit again, and I really like this kit. You can see it right there. I bought it February 8th, and I bought this earlier as well. But the nice thing is it comes with this little dipole kit that you'll see here with a mount, and you can mount this all different ways. There's a suction cup in there. You can see some examples, V-pole, dipole satellite operations. You've got different ways that you can configure that. So I like the idea that it came with these. And honestly, I've been able to pick up local emergency communications using this. So, what that does, if I can get back to where I was on the pictures. Let's see. Here's the whips that come with it, that connect to it. Let me get back to the overview. Oh, that's not the one that I wanted to see. Let's see. Yeah, it comes with the cable, comes with the tripod mount, a suction cup mount, the little connector here to put the dipoles in. And you actually got two sets of dipoles, so you got different lengths that you can use, which is really nice. But on the dongle, basically it looks like a little thumb drive, basically. You've got the USB connector here, so that'll connect into your computer, and then this other end, which I just lost, the other end of it here is where you connect the antenna. So it's a pretty cool device. You can buy these just by themselves for I think $25, $35, somewhere in that range. But again, I will put links on here as well to help out with that. Um, so yeah, I think I mentioned that kind of gave a little overview of what SDR is. Again, we're going to be showing the SDR Trunk software that I'm using, and using that with the RTL-SDR dongles. And then I'm just going to live stream some of the trunked radio channels and let the audio run for a while and, see what you guys think. This is just going to be local stuff to my area, but uh, pretty cool nonetheless. At least let you know what it sounds like. Again, I'm using the RTL-SDR dongles. The computer I'm running is just a Windows 11 computer. I will say I've already downloaded the software. You can Google SDR Trunk, and I will tell you it's a little challenging going through the website and getting the software. Um, Probably attempt to search that, but I've already got it downloaded. This isn't really going to be so much of an installation, but I think the software is actually sitting over on GitHub, so it kind of gives you an idea. And yeah, it's you want to go to the GitHub site here and get that. I would just say Google SDR Trunk. It's going to point you to this D Shire SDR Trunk site, and there's information there. And I will say also a really good detailed explanation. This is a video that I watched here. The channel is Tech Dad Adventures, and I will say he had a nice video. This is what I followed actually to get mine set up. The SDR trunk. He has a quick and easy P25 digital trunk scanner setup on PC and laptop using two RTL SDR dongles. And he goes through all the steps really for setting up the software. And I've got to say that I don't think I could do a better job of what he did there in explaining it. I thought he did a great job. But what I want to do right now is just jump right over to the software itself, which, let's see, do I have it up and running yet? I've actually got it running. What I would like to do is I'm going to close it down, and then I'm just going to launch it. Now, I've installed it in a folder. All right, so I've just got on the C drive. I put it in this SDR trunk folder. Let me go back to it again. SDR trunk, and then this is basically after I've unzipped it. Uh, the best thing to do is put a shortcut on your desktop because it's actually under this bin folder, a binary folder. There's a batch file in here that you want to run. Let's see. There it is right here. So what I did is I created a shortcut on my desktop to make this a little bit easier to launch. Because it's going to look a little weird when you first launch it. If I run the batch file, you're going to get a window like this. You're going to get a Windows system. This thing runs on what they call like the Java runtime environment. Now the nice thing about this version of SDR Trunk is you don't have to have the Java Software Developer Kit, or was it the JDK they call it? You just have to have the JRE, which I guess is the Java Runtime Environment. But you don't have to worry about installing all that stuff. It will get installed when you download the SDR Trunk software. But what I wanted to show here real quickly is when you first launch the software, now you do want to keep this window running, by the way. Don't close this out or it will close the software. This needs to run in the background. All right, so minimize that. Now I've already got a playlist that we can look at and use. Now in my local area, I've got a Butler County um, playlist set up for my area. Um, I would say the Tech Dad Adventures goes into really great detail on how to set this up. I've already added some things in here that might interest me, things I want to listen to in my local area, which is really, really great. I will say I highly recommend doing it just the way that was done in the Tech Dad Adventures video. Definitely use the radio ref. If you don't have radio reference, I think it cost me $30 a year for a premium subscription, and for me, it's literally worth it. Um, I'm going to log into mine just to make sure I am logged into it. But when you log into that, it will allow you to pull in. You can search and it will pull in all the talk group information, all the channel information. If you were to try to do this all by hand, it would be such a pain. Like right now, I am looking at the Ohio Marks IP multi-agency radios communications, which is basically all the trunked radio systems throughout the state of Ohio. And you can see here, as I'm scrolling through here, you've got all these systems from all over the place. You know, Georgetown, Hamersville, I believe that's out in Brown County, Ohio, Higginsport, all these um, different systems. So it has all this here. Um, you've got different things that you can click on here, like county agencies, you know, Butler County Amateur Radio Associations, all these things. And this all gets pulled in from Radio Reference. And when I'm talking about Radio Reference, I'm talking about the it's radioreference.com is where you'd want to go. And basically, the nice thing here is when you link to this, you can do things actually like listen to streamed live audio. It's linked in with Broadcastify, so you can actually stream stuff. But also, there's lots of resources in there, and it will actually integrate with SDR Trunk, which is honestly a beautiful thing because it allows you to pull in all this frequency information without having to do any manual setup. Like I said, I've already got this playlist set up. I can go over here and click on channels, and just for fun, we will go down to we're really wanting to talk about trunked radio today. So I've got this one here, the Ohio Marks IP system. I'm looking for anything, that I have here in Butler County. And you'll notice I have two SDRs set up. I do have one of these selected as a preferred tuner. I don't know if that's actually important to do that or not, but this is just an overview. The frequencies here, basically for my source, for my control frequency, um, and so on. But a lot of this stuff, I'd say that in the Tech Dad Adventures, he's got a really good walkthrough on how to set all of this up. And the other thing too, the aliases. This is really one of the things I really liked about what he did because um, a number of these things are encrypted channels, and I believe I want to say I marked those in red, the ones that were actually encrypted. And you can do things like set up priorities for channels, like so within your area, if there's things that you want to add, you can prioritize them. You can mute out the encrypted ones and so on, which is actually a really really nice thing. And you can even do recordings here, which is kind of cool. I have not tried that yet. I think the more I get into this, I've only been playing around with this for a few days myself. But we're going to go down here to the Ohio Marks. I'm going to hit play. All right. And I can close this guy out now. We should be pulling these.
Thank you.
There we go.
One call 21, unit contact.
You're welcome.
21, okay. You're clear.
So it might not look super clear, but you can see the control status is good. I've got one of the dongles is running the control channel, which basically is what helps you monitor all these different frequencies.
Robert 29, go.
2745, stare at 132, lot B is in boy, 2745, 132, lot B. You can plan it DME in at Dollar General, 5-minute ET and Black Honda Pilot in reference to picking up belongings.
That'll be enough for 2 call.
1834.
You can notice one of them that came up in there was encrypted, and I don't even listen to it. I've got it
1834.
muted. The OPS4 099P, whatever that is. I'm not even sure what this guy is, but you can see that one's encrypted. And when you go through the settings, and I'll just say again, TechNet Adventures goes through that really well.
Engine 11, Medic 19, on fire 5, Hepburn Hall, 355 Talawanda Road, number 133, fire alarm, Hepburn Hall, 355 Talawanda Road, number 133, cross of East Vine Street and East Sycamore Street, 1834 hours, fire alarm, Hepburn Hall, 355 Talawanda Road, number 133, fire alarm, Hepburn Hall, 355 Talawanda Road, number 133, cross of East Vine Street and East Sycamore Street, 1834 hours, fire alarm.
All right, so I'm just going to stay quiet and let this go and let you guys listen to
1835.
this. But what I did realize I just did was that I had not switch over the screen, which is shame on me. And I do apologize for that. I've been talking about it all this time. Okay, so I'm getting used to using OBS Studio, so I do apologize for that. I've been talking and talking and realized that I forgot to switch the scene over to the trunking software. So we are going to go back and take a look at that again.
Place Medic 19 available in quarters.
And I apologize. That's the other thing too. I don't have the ability. I need another screen to be able to watch the chat if anybody's watching this live. So I do. Again, I do apologize. But when I was talking about the playlist editor, this was the playlist editor.
They're at 232.
That we're looking at.
Yes,
I'm gonna hit stop. This actually stops it from playing. All right, that stops this from playing. And these are all the channels that I was talking about that are added in here. I have a playlist set up for Butler County here locally. We'll go back to channels, and I do apologize. I should have thought about that. I switched off the web browser, and I needed to switch. I don't know if you're familiar with when you stream, you need to have streaming software, and I'm using OBS Studio to do that. But we're going to go back and show the software again. Let's close the playlist editor. We'll go back to this and watch it live. Again, we'll see if any more of the encrypted channels come up. There's that control channel I was talking about here at the top. Again, I have two dongles. One of them controls monitoring the control channel.
Medic 74 at the hospital.
Wonderful.
Go ahead. Medic 74, you're clear at the hospital.
B40 en route to Butler County. It's a female, starting mileage 8003949.
1838.
You can see over here in the frequency column, 853.0625. One of the encrypted ones did pop up here again. I don't know what exactly that was, but again, it's muted. When those come up, I have them set up to be muted because there's no point in trying to listen to those. 13 dispatch. I'm not sure exactly where that is. Some of the aliases here are not super clear to me as far as what they are. You can see here the control frequency is 853.06250 megahertz. And then you've got the other channels popping up. Looks like they're idle. It's just basically scanning. Oh, there's encrypted. 09 TAC 5 is encrypted, whatever that guy
River
is.
45 to Hamilton. Anywhere. Left out or put in the garage.
Park in Bay 4, please. Park in Bay 4.
On the building. 10-4.
All right, I'm going to let this go. You guys can watch if you want. This is live. Basically, Butler County, Hamilton, Ohio area traffic that I'm picking up. And I'm just going to let this go.
Units on Pleasantdale checkout. Battalion on scene, 3-story dorm, evacuation progress, nothing visible from exterior. We'll be out investigating TAC 5. $2072 on scene, break for a New Jersey plate. Go ahead. Nora 68 Henry Young Victor N68 HYV. New Jersey. 52 to Atrium. That's correct. $2072. Good. Looks like we routed this vehicle earlier. The driver said he had a towing route. He just hit a patch of ice and ran off the roadway. This moves here. I'm just going to do traffic for it. That's correct.
Okay.
You can disregard the caller left for an appointment. They're going to call back tomorrow. Clear 43.
All right, so yeah, basically that's kind of how it looks. Gonna go ahead and stop that for now. And oops, looks like I might close the software down. All right, so that's basically all I wanted to show for now. We're going to switch back over there. So I appreciate everybody who stuck this one out. I made some mistakes in the streaming, and I do apologize for that. But hopefully I'm going to get my act together by the next time, and we'll try this again. Thanks for stopping in, guys, and we'll try to do another live stream. Hopefully I'll have my act together a little bit better by then.